All right, someone just joined. Thank you for joining. Let's wait for the rest of the people to join, then we can get started. All right, thank you for joining. Who's this? Who's just joined? Say your name in the chat. Let me know who are the people that are joining. I really do appreciate you guys coming in. What happened here? Huh. All right. Happy Sunday. I'm just trying to share the link on my other social media account so people can join us. So just give me a minute, guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday wherever you're tuning in from. We're going to get started pretty soon. Hey, Tracy. Thanks for joining us today. Tracy, if you have a question for me, put it in the chat. I promise you, I'm going to answer you. And whoever else is here, not only Tracy. If you have a question for me regarding our topic for today, put in the chat. Any other question, any other topic, send me an email and I'll respond to you. Guys, give me a minute. Let me just share the link on my Instagram page. Okay. I see more people are joining. Let's give another minute. How's Sunday going? Guys, tell me how your day is going on the chat. How's your Sunday going? I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. Um, my day is going great. Awesome, Tracy. Tracy, where are you tuning in from? Are you in the US? Are you out of the country? Guys, I like to interact with my viewers. I like to know where they're joining from. I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to share my knowledge with you guys. I'm here to make an impact. I'm here to help you guys to get a job, your dream Scrum Master job. Keep joining, guys. Keep joining. If you're applying for a job and you're struggling, you're still not able to get the job, just keep joining because trust me, everything I tell you guys here are real stuff. Everything I do on my day to day life at work, right? So just keep joining. This is really, really going to help you. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you have applied, and you didn't get a job yet, do not give up. Keep applying, keep coming here, keep watching the videos. If you have questions on any topic that you're struggling with, send me a message on my email. Then we can connect. Okay, I really want to help you guys to achieve your goal. Come 2024, all of you guys get these jobs, right? From Atlanta, Georgia. Nice, nice, nice. Somebody says Sunday's good. That's awesome. My Sunday is going really great as well. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm almost there. Okay, I think we can get started. And whoever is not able to join us, they can obviously always view this recording because I save everything on my channel. So today's topic, we want to talk about a day in the life of a Scrum Master on the first week on the job. This is actually Oh, what happened here? Okay. Oh, my computer kind of switched screen. I thought I went offline. Um, I'm here. So, can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Because my computer was playing with me for a little bit. It just kind of like, for a minute, everything just blanked out. See, if you can see me, if you can hear me, just write on the chat that yes, Nicole, we can still see you, we can still hear you. All right, awesome, great. You guys can see me and hear me. So today I want us to talk about what does Scrum Master do on the first day, the first week on the job, right? I do have a video out there that I talked about on the first day of work. Now today we're going to talk about on the first week, what do they really do, right? This is a question that a lot of people have been reaching out to me, and obviously I want to tell you exactly what I did and what most scrum masters are doing, what the responsibilities are, the things that you're going to do when you get your job on the very first week. Again, it's going to really varies from companies to company, right? Let's just say that you get hired as a contractor, and let's just say that this company never had someone on the team that was running the meeting. You got hired as a contractor. They didn't have a scrum master on the team. You're the person that you're here to help them. So in this case, again, they might just take you and throw you under the bus. So just be ready, especially contractors. This actually happened to me, right? But in most environments, they're not going to treat you like that. I got a job one time where the company were really in need. They were really desperate. They really needed somebody to just come in there and just get things going. Okay. But it's not going to happen to all of you guys, obviously. And every place that you get a job is not going to always be the same. I was a contractor when I got that job, and they actually really told me during the interview that we really need help. We really need someone to come in and just start running the show. Okay. And in my case, that's what happened. And I'm going to tell you guys different scenarios that happened at different company that I've worked at. But for this particular company, I got the job. They needed me to dive in right away. So I didn't really have time to shadow anyone. Like a lot of people ask me, do you really shadow someone on your first week, first day at work? So again, it just depends. You might be lucky enough, like I was, um, fortunate enough get a job where they just throw you under the bus. I survived. Obviously, I knew what I was doing. I pretty much started running the meetings right away. As soon, like honestly, like the second day I actually started running meeting. But this case might not be the same for everyone. However, in the real world where even contractors too, in the real world, you get hired as a scrum master, you join the team. Really, what's going to happen on the first week? Let's start with the first day, right? Like the first week when you come in, the first thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to get access, which is kind of like onboarding. You're going to go through the onboarding process. That's the very first thing that's going to happen. For you to get all your access, they're going to create all your ID. Let's say they already created your ID, you got your login, a credential, everything all situated. You finally log into the system. All right. Once you log into the system, you ping your manager. If your manager doesn't ping you, but I would say you do it. If you know the name of your manager, just go ahead and ping them on whatever tool they're using, Microsoft Teams, Skype, or Zoom, whatever they're using for communication, Slacks. Ping your manager. Just ping your manager. Introduce yourself. Hey, I finally logged in and I'm good now, right? Just to make that first initial connection. Let your manager know that you're finally logged in to work. Okay. So once you do that, the manager now is going to tell you the next step. The next step, majority of the time, might be maybe they have some compliance training that you're going to take. Check your emails. The next first thing you want to do, check your email, see all the type of email that they have sent on your inbox. You're going to see a lot of emails regarding compliance training, right? Because you can't even start doing work without you taking all this training. You need to take those training. Um and you got to do that because those training are kind of timed, okay? They're time sensitive. So you have to take all those compliance training. Once you're done, and sometimes even you can't even get certain access if you're not done with certain some of those trainings. So as soon as you get those email for you to do your training, brush those out of the way. Take those training. Once you're done with the training, ping your manager. Let your manager know that you have completed all the training. So that's the very first thing that you want to do. Make sure you take those training, get them done, get them out of the way, then let your manager know that you have completed the training. The next thing that's going to happen to you on that first week is your manager is going to make connection with you and the team. Okay, once you're done with the training, your manager now is going to want to introduce you to the team, to the organization, the people you're going to be working with. Okay, so maybe it could even be one of their meeting, like their daily stand-up meeting. The manager will forward you the invite, or they might ask a team member, one of the team members, to forward you the invite. Join those meetings. to introduce yourself, right? They might want to make you to meet the team members so you can introduce yourself, join the meeting, just have a nice something, summary about yourself, your past experience, um, where you have worked, how long you've been a scrum master and stuff like that. So you're going to have to do a basic, introduction to everyone. And it depends on the type of meeting. Sometimes the team members too there might do like a quick introduction, nothing too crazy, nothing too serious. That you can just go around the room and just have everyone to introduce themselves. But they're gonna always obviously start with you. You're gonna introduce yourself, and then they also might go around the room and have everybody else to introduce themselves. Once you're done meeting your team for the first time, remember that's you just meeting everyone, okay? But you're gonna still have to schedule one-to-one meeting with each and every one of your team member. So that introduction, that's not really the meeting that you want to consider your one-on-one, okay? After they're done introducing you to everyone, you need to schedule one-on-one meeting with all of your team members. Schedule that meeting with your product owner. Let's start with the product owner. Schedule one-on-one with your product owner to get to know your product owner. Really important because as a scrum master, you're going to be working very, very closely with your product owner. So make sure you build a really good relationship with the product owner. Schedule one-to-one, get to know them. How you obviously they're gonna get to know you as well. Ask them some questions like about the project. What is the goal of the project? What are they working on? A lot of scrum masters today, if you ask them what is your team working on, other than running meetings, a lot of them might not be able to tell you. Okay. A lot of people ask them what are you working on, what's your team focused on? A lot of them won't be able to explain it to you. Ask your product owner, what are the team working on? If they're building a software, what type of software? What is the software going to be used for? Ask them questions. Get to know the project. It's going to be best for you. It could be better for you as well to understand the work they're doing. So just ask the product owner those type of question that you really want to just know exactly what the team is focusing on, what they're working on, what they're building. Okay. Connect with the product owner. Once you're done meeting with the product owner, obviously doing your one-to-one meeting with the product owner as well, you don't want to maybe just ask the product owner to log into Jira. But if you do have access yourself with Jira too at that time, whatever tool they're using, guys, I'm just saying Jira, but not every company is not using Jira. They might be using Rally or Jira DevOps, whatever tool they're using. If you do have access to that tool, maybe you log into the tool yourself. You know, Sh- ask the product owner if you have any questions, any concern about the backlog. If things are not looking the way it should be, just remember this is your first week. You don't want to do too much, but at the same time, if you see issues there, obviously you want to just ask the product owner on the things that you're seeing and in the backlog, so you can just ask them some few questions based on what you're seeing in the backlog if things are not looking normal to you. um Once you're done talking to the product owner, you want to schedule one-on-one with all of your developers, each and every one of your developers and your QAs. Okay, again, not every scrum team is cross-functional. Cross-functional meaning that you have a QA team and you have developers. Okay, I've worked in a team where they're not cross-functional, meaning my developers did their own testing, the build and the tests. If you have a cross-functional team, you're gonna have your developers, then you're gonna have your QAs, which are your testers. So your QAs are gonna be testing, and your developers are gonna be building. So set your one-on-one meeting with your developers. If you have QAs, also set your one-on-one with your QAs, all of your team members. Introduce yourself, get to know them. There's some questions that you want to ask during your one-on-one. For example, I like to ask people where do they live, which part of the country, which state, pretty much. You know why I'm asking that question? I'm going to be scheduling meetings. I want to know their time zone. Okay, because especially if you're a scrum master, you guys work in a whole bunch of different time zones, even different countries. I have team members that work in different part of the world. Okay, even in the US we have so many different time zones. So you're asking them where do they live or which state do they live in. The reason you want to know, are they in the East Coast, are they in the West Coast, are they in the Central time zone, or are they in Europe? Where in Europe? Are they in Asia? Where in Asia? You want to know the time zone, because if you're going to be scheduling stand up with the team, you want to make sure you guys talk about the time that works best, right? Because you guys don't have the same time. So those are some questions that I ask them. Which state do they live, or if they're out of the country, where do they live, right? Just so I know their time zone. Another question I want to ask them is, Any challenges that you're facing in this team currently? What are some challenges that you guys are currently facing in this team? The reason is because they're bringing you. Maybe they need some help. Maybe they're not doing things correctly. Maybe they need someone with better skill set to come help them to manage some impediments or roadblocks that they're having. Okay, so ask them, what are the major challenges that the team is currently facing? Is it about estimating story? If it is, they're gonna tell you, so you know how to maybe introduce them to better estimate stories. Is it maybe people are just not coming to meetings, so maybe you need to come up with some more coaching skills and get people to start attending meetings. Um, Challenges could be are the people having conflict with the teams and stuff like that. So just ask them, are there any major challenges that the team is facing? Maybe they're not breaking down their stories. Maybe they're bringing stories that are too large in the spring. Maybe those are really challenging. They keep rolling over work to the next spring, to the different sprint, right? So it's good to know if they're having any major challenges on the team at that time. So those are some few questions that, if you want to know more, obviously email me, guys. Those are some questions that you can ask your team members during your one-on-one meeting. Um, if you want to, oh, you can actually also ask them, how do they estimate their stories, right? Which method are they using to estimate user stories? Are they using the planning poker technique with the Fibonacci sequence? It's really good to know. Are they even estimating the story correctly? Maybe, maybe not. So that's why when I do my one-on-one, I ask them so many questions just to know the areas that I need to focus on first, right? I want to know which area that they really need help with, that I need to focus on first. And remember, make sure you have one-on-one with each and every one of your team member. One-on-one doesn't have to be too long. 15, 30 minutes should be good. Honestly, schedule one-on-one meeting for 15. I'll say 30 minutes. 15 minutes probably too short. I'll just schedule for 30 minutes just to really connect with the team members. And also, guys, let me tell you a secret. Okay, if you schedule one-on-one, you connect with your team, it's gonna really make you feel so comfortable with the team. You're gonna get a lot of confidence. You're gonna be so comfortable with your team members, especially people that are shy, don't like to speak up. You already make that connection. When you're meeting, when you're in meeting with them, they're gonna talk. They're gonna speak because you've met with these people before. You've really showed them who you are. Okay, you've already opened that door and make them feel comfortable. You let them know that you're here to help them. So next time when you meet with them as a group, they're going to speak. They're going to speak up in the meeting. They're going to talk. Okay, when you have stories that you want them to talk about it during the refinement meeting, they're going to talk about it. When it's time to estimate story, they are going to participate. So those one-on-one connections are really, really, really important. I'm going to pause for a minute. Some people have some questions before I proceed. Um, 1 second. Oh, it said I can hear you. What tool do you use at work? Um, Hey, I think that's Tracy, if I'm not mistaken. Virtuous woman, but I think that's Tracy. So Tracy, I've used different type of tools. Okay, I have used Azure DevOps, which is called ADO. I've also I think I've used all the Scrum tools. I've been a Scrum Master for a while, so I've used almost all the tools in different places that I have worked in the past. I've used Rally as well. I've also used Jira. I think my favorite of all those two, if you really ask my opinion, though, I would probably say Jira. Azure DevOps is not bad as well. But yes, I've actually used all those two different tools. But most places are using Jira. Most places I've worked at in the past, they use Jira. So yes, keep writing questions, guys. Keep sending me your questions. Keep sending me those questions. Um, and the other tools that you might also need to learn, obviously, when you join the team, is Confluence. A lot of companies are using Confluence is pretty much for documenting, right? So during your first week at the job, make sure that you ask them to give you access to other tools. Okay, it depends on the company. Some companies, they might have to, someone might have to put you a ticket to be able to get access to those tools. Okay, so if you try to log in to whatever tool they're using, and if let's say if your team members share you the link and you try to log in and you're not able to connect, reach out to your manager. They might have to put in a ticket to get approval for you to use those tools. So make sure that you get access to those tools that you need. Another tool that you actually, it's good that you're gonna need as well if the company is using it is Confluence. Confluence, if you don't know about Confluence, if you've never worked as a Scrum Master before, just Google Confluence. Confluence is another tool that we use for documentations. Let's just say, for example, your team members or the product owner and the team talked about a major decision on the team. They come to an agreement, and they want to document the agreement. What do you do now? You go to Confluence. You can document all those agreements that they've concluded. Okay. Another thing is, which is the next thing I want to talk about, your working agreement on your first week at the job on the job. Okay, ask doing your one-on-one. You can even ask your team members if they have a working agreement. A working agreement is just a team norm. It's just a way of working, right? These are the things that your team members say they want to do as a team to be successful. A working agreement can have your definition of ready, definition of done. Okay. So if you join a team during that first week, ask the team members if they have a working agreement in place. It's important because I want to know what is our definition of ready. Meaning, before we start working on a user story, did the story meet definition of ready? Before we say we are moving the story to done, did the story meet definition of done? Can we mark the story done? So having asking them if they have a working agreement is good, because if they do not have one, maybe then they didn't even know what a working agreement is. You can introduce it to them. You can schedule a meeting for maybe about an hour to go over the working agreement. And during the working agreement session, have the team define their definitions. If they don't have definition or ready definition of done, that'll be a perfect time for the team members to talk about their definition of ready and definition of done. Okay, so just ask them during the one-on-one if they have a working agreement. If not, schedule a meeting. Even if they do have a working agreement in place already, I personally still like to revisit it. I still like to schedule a meeting with the team. Remember, I was not part of the meeting of the team when they came up with all of these decisions on the team, right? I want us to also be on the same page, right? I'll still schedule a meeting. Let's revisit, and I'll just let the team know on the meeting. I just want us to revisit our team working agreement. If they say the same thing, we document it. At least I'm here now. We're all agreeing. This is what we want. These are the things that we want to do as a team to be successful. These are our definition of ready. Before we say we're going to move a story into the spring, the story meets these criteria. Before we say the story is done, before we move on to done, the story they meet this criteria as well. So we want to make sure that we revisit the working agreement if they already have one in place. If they do not have one in place, obviously schedule a meeting, go over the working agreement with the team. During the working agreement, also, you guys can talk about your how to estimate stories. Just ask them, how do they estimate story? This is what I do. I like to ask them how they do things, right? Before I tell them the right way of doing it. Okay. I always ask the team member, how do you guys estimate stories? Which method are you guys using for estimating user story? So they'll tell me, then I'll know if they're doing it right or wrong. If I see that they're not estimating correctly, and I'm going to introduce the method that I've used in the past, and I'm going to tell them in a nice way. This is what I've done in the past with my previous team, and it worked really well. How about we try it? Okay, introduce it to them. If they don't know how to estimate stories correctly, make sure that during the working agreement session, you can also talk about it in a meeting. Have the team come up with which method that they want to be estimating their user stories. What about collaboration tools for retrospective? Hey, Tracy, since we're talking about first week of work, I might probably do another session to answer a lot of those questions. But for retro though, it just some companies, when you start working the first week, I don't expect you to start running retrospective. You know what I'm saying? It depends. Again, I don't know where they are in the spring, which if they are at the end of the spring or in the beginning of the spring, when you join the company that first week, we really don't know where you're going to meet the team, right? They might be in the, maybe they're starting the spring, maybe they're ending the spring. Okay. If you come where they're ending the spring, obviously that week they might have a retro. Okay. And some of the tools that they do use during retro, um, I've used Miro. I've used Easy Retro. There's Idea Board. I've also ran my retro on Excel. Guys, yes, Excel. You guys like, huh? However, it's different. When you run your retro in Excel, you're gonna be the one doing most of the typing, right? Because you can how do you share you can't share Excel sheet for people to be typing there, right? It's not like one of those tools that people can use them in real time and it reflect. Okay. And this company that I used Excel back then, about 2 years ago, they didn't have any other tool and their system was blocked. You couldn't even use any outside tool. You couldn't even go on Google and try to use any other retrospective tool out there. I couldn't even use Idea Board. I couldn't even use Easy Retro. Those are free tools, right? But this company kind of had restrictions that we weren't able to use any outside tool, and they didn't have tools for us to use. So for me to still have retro going, I use Excel. I just told my team we're gonna have retro, but I'm gonna be the one to do the typing. I created the Excel sheet to do. Oh, sorry, I created the extra sheet. What went wrong? What didn't go wrong? And action items, the three columns for retro. And I just share my screen and then just ask each team member. I just go around the room. In this situation, I'll go around the room and just call names and then just ask them those questions, and they'll tell me what went well. They'll tell me what they believe didn't go well, and then they'll tell me if they have an action item, and then I'll type it. However, if you use one of those tools like Easy Retro or Idea Board or Miro, then you can create a retrospective and then share the link with them. And then in this way, they're going to be able to manually do it themselves. And it just appears on the screen, right, in real time. So as they're typing, you're able to see it. Everybody else that's part of the retrospective meeting is going to be seeing what people are saying. All right. So again, those are the first thing. In summary, let me just say what I just said before. For those that join late, when you join a new team, depending on the company that you're gonna work at, the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna go through your onboarding process. They're going to send you they're going to get you situated with your onboarding. You're gonna log in. Once you log in, make connection with your manager. Ping your manager, let them know that you have logged in, and they're going to tell you to check your email. Obviously, you can check it yourself. You're going to see that you have a lot of emails. Most of the emails that you're going to be getting are probably regarding compliance training, some trainings that you're going to take for the companies. And it's important to do those training. Like I said, those some of them are very time sensitive. Go through them, because if you don't finish some of those trainings on time, it might block you from getting certain access. It might also block you from starting the work, because they might not even make you start working actual work if you haven't completed those trainings. So guys, as soon as you get those link to start doing those compliance training, just go ahead and get it out of your way. Once you're done with the training, reach out to your manager, let them know that you're done so they can now make introduction with you and the team members. Okay, they'll send you the meeting invite for one of the team meetings for you to join. It could be the stand up, whatever meeting that they share the invite. Join that meeting. They're gonna just do like a formal introduction, and then depending on how much time they have in the meeting, they might ask everyone in the meeting to quickly introduce themselves. You're going to introduce yourself as well, and then also make sure that you ask your team members or your manager to follow you all the other meetings that are on their calendar, right, that you do not have. Okay, just say, is there any other meetings that the team is currently having that I do not have? Can you forward those meetings to me? So you start attending those meetings as well. Start listening, start understanding the work, the type of work that they're doing. Once you're done, schedule all your one-on-one meetings with all your team members. Your product owner, always start with your product. It's up to you. You can start with anyone. I usually just start with my product owner to know what the team is working on. What is the goal? Are we building? If they're building a software, what are they really building? Right. Try to understand high level on what the team is working on. You can also still ask your team members individually, what are the role in this team? What are they individually doing on the team? Right. A lot of scrum masters know, yes, this person is a developer, that person is a tester, but you know what type of developer is that on your team? We call all of our team members development team members, but what are the individual role? A lot of people might not even know. You might have DBAs on your team. You might have a system engineer on your team. You might have solutions architect on your team. Okay. You might have so many different type of people on your team that you don't even know. So just ask them what are their role on the team. So you get to understand the individual role on the team other than them just being a developer. Get to know what each of them are doing on the team. Okay. And then ask them about your working agreement. Do you guys have a team working agreement? If yes, Still schedule a meeting, revisit it with everyone, because when they did that agreement, you weren't there. Okay, let's revisit it. Let's still agree as a team. Since I'm here, I'm the person that's going to be running the meetings, right? Let me know what the team is, they're going to agree on. What are our team norms? Let them decide that on the working agreement. Do they have definition of ready, definition of done? Do they even know what a definition of ready is? Do they even know what definition of ready are? So it's good to have those quite conversation with them. So if they don't know, you can introduce a definition of ready and definition of done to them, so they know before they're accepting any story into the spring, it means definition of ready. If they know before they're moving a story to done, it means definition of done. So those are really important things that you want to talk about your team members during your very first week. And then remember, in your very first week of work, you're really, really attending meeting. You're observing a lot. You're observing a lot. You're listening. You're attending those meetings. If you're not the one running the show just yet, which in most cases you're not going to be the one running the show just yet, just listen in, take notes, see some challenges that they're facing. If there's anything that you see that the team really needs some help from you, write those things down. And then once you take over, start slowly and slowly making those introduction and those things to your team. Start introducing them slowly to your team members. Again, that's it for today. I'm just gonna check if there's any other questions I missed out. If not, I will let you guys go. Again, we'll meet next Sunday. If you guys have any other topic that I didn't cover yet on my channel, any challenges you're facing if you're working or you're in the interview process, please don't hesitate to send me an email. Okay, my email is nicole.agilepractitioner@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. I'm going to answer your question. And again, for those of you that are struggling, if you need one-on-one coaching, I'm here to support. Reach out to me with my email that I just said, nicole.agilepractitioner@gmail.com. I wish you guys a happy Sunday. Thank you all for joining, and then we'll see you guys next Sunday.